Manchester United defy all odds by avoiding defeat at Anfield and leaving with a point. And Chelsea and Arsenal are pretty much insisting that Liverpool win the league this season with more points dropped. You're watching Foot and Mouth. Welcome back to Foot and Mouth. Another action-packed week in the Premier League football. It's usually the case when there's a derby on the cards, and not just any derby, but Liverpool versus Manchester United. Now, going into this game, it was at Anfield. We saw Manchester United's current run of form. We've seen Liverpool's form throughout this whole season. I gave United no chance. I had very much doubted anybody that did give United a chance. But football's football, and United can leave, I guess, a little bit disappointed that they didn't get more out of this game, because they could have. There were opportunities for both sides to snatch the win. Onana obviously stopping Liverpool from getting a very late winner in this game. But yeah, it was probably a fair result on the day. These were two teams that were absolutely playing for the win. And even though Man United were going into it as the underdogs, like I said, it's at Anfield. It's Liverpool versus Man United. It's first versus 13th, 14th. But credit to United. They went there. They didn't go into a shell. They played for a win, and I think that they were rewarded for the performance. Yes, it's a point, but it's not a loss, which at this point I think is a very positive sign for United. It's a game against Liverpool at Anfield, so you would have, I was expecting them to lose. So the fact that they didn't leave with nothing, I think is a big pro. But yeah, I think there was a lot of talk from the players, from the manager, that there is some disappointment to be taken from this game, because they feel that, if you can perform like this at Anfield against Liverpool, why can't you do this week in, week out against other clubs? And that's always the case. We've seen this before with other clubs. But I think under a new manager with this team, it is one of those moments that kind of highlights that the team isn't bad. They just need to actually play like a team. And there were some good performances in this game from both sides. Look, on the United side, they obviously opened the scoring through Lisandro Martinez, his first goal at Anfield, and what a goal it was. Absolutely smashed it into the goalpost. And the pass from Bruno Fernandes to set it up was quite magical, to say the least. And I know that there's been a lot of flack for Bruno Fernandes in this season, not just this season, but a lot this season. But those moments are exactly why he cannot be dropped by Manchester United. Can't be dropped, can't be sold. This dude has to stay in that team no matter what. And 80% of the time he may frustrate you with these Hollywood pass attempts, but when he gets it right, bruh, it goes very right more often than not. And look, obviously that set the stage. Liverpool weren't behind for too long before Cody Gakpo came through and found an equalizer. Also, very good goal. And this dude is having a good season, in my opinion, Cody Gakpo. I think he had a slow start to his Liverpool career when he was signed for the club, but this season in particular, my man has made me forget about Jota, which I think is quite a hard thing to do, especially since I'm an Arsenal fan and that man has haunted my dreams before. But good goal by Cody Gakpo to get Liverpool back into the game. The first half was pretty much stock standard derby football. There were no goals in the first half. All 4 goals in the game came in the second half. And when Man United opened the goal scoring, that was already enough of a surprise for me. But the fact that they literally went on to get a point from this game in general was the biggest surprise of all. Because once Liverpool scored, I was like, okay, here we go. The floodgates have now opened. It's going to be open season. But Onana had a very good game in goal. I think the United defenders had their fair share of troubles with Liverpool's attackers, as you would expect. Any defenders would. But I think Onana gave them a fair amount of confidence. He was making some very important stops in the game. And at 1-1, it was, again, just as much anybody's game as it would be at 0-0. But Liverpool did seem like they were going to be a little bit more of the likely winners to come out of this game, and they started to pepper Man United's goals with started to pepper Man United's penalty area with crosses, with shots, with anything you could throw at them. And United dealt with it well for the most part, up until Mo Salah ended up getting a penalty for a handball, which, rules are the rules. A handball is a handball. In the Premier League, whatever that means now is whatever it means, simple as. And Mo Salah, of course, steps up to the spot to take it. And fair play to Onana, I think he was very, very close to stopping it. He went the right way at least, got down in time. But Mo Salah is just Mo Salah, bro. And he is continuing his Ballon d'Or form. Mo Salah now making a 21 goals and 17 assists across all competitions for Liverpool this season, which is ridiculous form and borderline unfair for everybody else at this moment in time. He cannot stop. This whole season from start to finish has pretty much been just 8 out of 10 performances minimum, in my opinion. I think he's the best player in the world right now. I think Liverpool are the best club in the world right now, which just goes to show just how much more credit we do need to give this Manchester United side for getting a point here at Anfield. It's not just Mo Salah though. Like I said, someone like Cody Gakpo. Gakpo's got a very decent run of goals and assists so far to his name this season as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, also putting in a pretty decent performance. I know that there was a slight mistake from him that led to a United goal, but overall, pretty good. There were a lot of question marks around where he would be mentally for this game, because there's been many rumors about Real Madrid and Trent Alexander-Arnold, considering his contract's coming to an end. Not just him, of course. Salah is also coming to the end of his contract, same as Virgil van Dijk. Lots of concerns amongst Liverpool fans, understandably so. The 3 people that have just been mentioned are 3 of the most important players in the team, in my opinion. I think in a lot of people's opinions. You don't want those rumors swirling around, especially when it's a club like Real Madrid. But, Trent is a professional through and through from how things look at least. And he's still giving his all for Liverpool, however long he's going to be there. I personally think that he should make the move to Real Madrid. And that's just me thinking, as far as a footballer goes, he's a competitive player. Naturally, he wants to win them all. He wants to achieve a whole lot of things. He's achieved everything he can at Liverpool right now. I'm all for legacy. I'm all for loyalty. But I can't fault a player for wanting to go to the biggest club in the world and make a name for himself there as well. We've seen this happen with other players from the Premier League in the past. Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham. It's something that I think is an exciting opportunity for him, if it is real, if it does materialize into anything. Obviously, I would love to see him stay. A one-club player is always something to be celebrated. But I just don't think that this dude should catch any flack if he does make a move to Real Madrid at this point. He's given Liverpool everything, and one more Premier League title as a send-off, I guess, would be quite poetic. So I think, he had a good game. I think Man United, Amad Diallo, I can't believe I haven't even gotten to this yet, but Amad Diallo's second goal, this dude, second-time savior for the club this season so far in big games. He's scoring big goals in big games at his age. And Alejandro Garnacho setting him up for that goal as well. I think there were lots of signs of mentality in this game, the strength of mentality. I think Garnacho is taking all the talk of his potential exit from United. He's taking it in his stride, and I think he's using that to get better for the team, to show that he deserves to be in this team, which I think is something that's going to please someone like Amorim and Manchester United fans alike. Diallo can pretty much do no wrong at this point, especially when he keeps scoring these types of goals in these types of games. So fair play to the kids, bro. Amorim had a lot of good things to say after the game as well, noting that this is what this team is capable of. He was also asked about Joshua Zirkzee, and he said that he wants him to stay because of how committed he is when he's on the pitch, when he's in training. Even Bruno Fernandes speaking about the Newcastle display that we saw when Joshua Zirkzee was basically jeered off the pitch by fans and ended up going straight down the tunnel. Bruno Fernandes saying that he would have rather it be him who was receiving that treatment. He doesn't like to see it. So I think to see the fans go from that to rallying around the team again in this big game, and I know it was an occasion, I know it's a derby, it's still a good sign. I don't think Zirkzee helped his case very much towards the end when he also could have got a third. I mean, he maybe wouldn't have scored it, but his pass to kind of set someone else up for the shot rather than take the shot himself right at the end. It was Harry Maguire, I think, who skied it. I would have rather seen him take a shot, but naturally his confidence is as low as it can be right now. So that probably explains why he didn't go for it himself. But again, I will say again, I do think that this is a player. I think this is a dude that just needs a little bit more time, maybe needs a few more hugs, but I think that he's a good player. And whether United keep him or not, wherever he's playing his football, I think he's going to end up a success, to be honest. But biggest game of the weekend, Liverpool versus Man United. Points are shared. It's 1-1 at Anfield. And I honestly do believe that things are on the up and up for Manchester United. This is the type of game that brings a whole lot more belief. And I think Amorim is the type of manager who is going to use this game as the absolute benchmark going forward for this team. And I can absolutely see Manchester United working their way into the top 10, at the very least, of the Premier League this season. Tottenham dropped more points at home again this season, this time losing to Newcastle 2-1. And this was a pretty good game. I will say that much, as I don't like watching Spurs. But Spurs took an early lead through Dominic Solanke. Really good header. And after that, I wouldn't have faulted you for thinking that Spurs were basically going to run away with it. But no. It was the Newcastle show, bro, for a lot of the game after Spurs went 1-up. And Anthony Gordon bringing them level 1-1 with a smashing goal. I think Spurs still don't have their first choice goalkeeper. Vicario's still not available. So obviously hard luck there. A lot of clubs are dealing with injuries and illnesses at the moment. It's not a fun time in the Premier League. But all credit to Anthony Gordon for that finish. That is a solid finish regardless of what goalkeeper you're facing. And then, naturally, the usual suspect at this moment in time, Alexander Isak, ends up getting the winner for Newcastle, which is the eventual winner. But it is a bit tough for Spurs. I think Spurs played some good football. Spurs, for me at least, dominated all the key areas of the game. And they dominated the amount of opportunities created, 4 goals. So Spurs absolutely could have won this, or at the very least got a draw. But, a loss for Spurs is a win for football as far as I'm concerned. And Alexander Isak, what a player this dude is. And what a season he's having. He had a very slow start to the season as well. Last season, he made headlines more often than not. Beginning of this season, there were question marks about this guy's consistency. He's put all those question marks to bed. He just keeps adding more and more millions to that asking price that Newcastle are going to name for him, if anybody does come knocking. And rightfully so, dude. I think this guy he's a striker. He's the striker that Arsenal need. Arsenal need a striker. Alexander Isak is the striker that Arsenal need. Week in, week out, you're starting to see it now. I think this is a huge win for Eddie Howe. After the game, Eddie Howe and Bruno Guimaraes both speaking about how Newcastle have the capability to achieve big things at this club now. And again, they are still in the Carabao Cup semi-final, facing Arsenal over 2 legs. So there's still chance for them to get a trophy. Hopefully they don't at the expense of Arsenal. You can't fault them for those comments after a win like this against Spurs. Spurs are a big club in the Premier League. I don't think they're bigger than Newcastle, but they are a big club in the Premier League. And a win like this is always going to be big for confidence and morale. You know what I mean? So I think that going forward, Newcastle have strung together a good run of results. You beat Manchester United at Old Trafford. You beat Spurs at Spurs home stadium back to back. That's huge, bro. That is really good form. And most clubs would drop points across those 2 games. But Newcastle are absolutely playing some really good football, man. Again, Anthony Gordon, even if he's not scoring, I think he's having a very good season. And he's looking more and more the type of player that Newcastle wanted when they first signed him. Of course, he was very young, so it was going to take some time for him to get into the groove of things. But it looks like he's hit that groove, and he's got a decent partnership with Alexander Isak. So big win for Newcastle this weekend, and it doesn't help Ange Postecoglou at all, bruh. Doesn't help him at all. This guy is desperate for a win at this point of the season, and you can't blame him. Spurs are dropping points left, right, and center. And as much as I love to see it, I do still like Ange quite a bit. Even Ange himself going a little bit against his own words. Last season he was very adamant the Premier League managers shouldn't complain so much about the referees and PGMOL, and these are just humans, they're doing their job. But he had his fair share to say about the PGMOL and referees after this result. So he's got a bit of his foot in his mouth, living up to the name of the show for this weekend's result. But a Newcastle win there absolutely keeps them a little bit more motivated and confident in their efforts to get European football next season, whether it be Europa League or Champions League. They're aiming for the Champions League, as is everybody else. But yeah, it's a very big win for them, and it's a loss that I think is going to hurt Spurs. They're going to need to pick themselves up from this, because I think that Spurs, like I said, they were definitely doing the most in terms of setting up themselves for a winner, or at least an equalizer, and not taking any of those chances as well as they should. It's definitely going to sting a little bit. But Spurs are not the only team that are going to be feeling a sting this weekend, because Arsenal, the mighty, mighty Arsenal, with a golden opportunity this weekend. 1-0 against Brighton. Okay, we go 1-0 up against Brighton early. The final score was 1-1, of course. We go 1-0 up against Brighton through Ethan Nwaneri, who is now filling in at right wing for the injured Bukayo Saka. The starting lineup's all over the place because of illnesses that have been running through the team. We've got no Odegaard in the lineup. We've got Thomas Partey at right back. We've got Jorginho in midfield. We've got no Kai Havertz on the pitch. It wasn't the best look, I expected some rotation for this game. I had expected Thomas Partey to play at right back. I didn't expect Martin Odegaard to miss this game from the start, at least. But once he came on, you might as well have not had him for the game at all because he just looked far from his best in this game. And yeah, it was just another game of seemingly anti-football by Arteta and by Arsenal. And Arteta's not exactly helping himself here with regards to the critics. His style of play sometimes it's a joy to watch, bro. But a lot of the times, we are getting so many yellow cards for time wasting. And I don't even understand 9 times out of 10 why we are wasting time. We are getting carded in the first half for time wasting. And look, there was a lot on this game, so I understand wanting to play things carefully, but you gotta take a few more risks, and I think these are times where normally you can kind of put the blame more on the player than the manager in the sense of not taking his chances or whatever. But I do feel that this team are very much coached to play the way that they play, and Arteta's style is just a little bit too conservative at times. I'm still very much in favor of this man. I'm backing him every step of the way, but I do think that we missed a real opportunity with this weekend, this fixture against Brighton. Credit to Brighton. They played very good football. They always do play very good football, especially at their home stadium. So I didn't expect an easy game at all, but I did expect Arsenal to at least get the win. And for the longest time, it did look like we were going to get that win. We were 1-0 up for most of the game, at least most of the second half, before Brighton ended up getting a pretty controversial penalty. In my opinion, it's not a penalty. I saw contact with the ball by Saliba before there was a follow-through contact on the player. As far as I'm concerned, the rule is he got the ball first. There wasn't anything malicious in it. I don't think it should have been a penalty. I do not think it should have been a penalty. There are lots of people celebrating the fact that it was a penalty and praising the referee for getting the correct decision here. A lot of that, I think, is down to the fact that it's just Arsenal. But not a penalty for me. I think that is a very, very bad piece of luck for Saliba, because I think he had a very good game. I think it was also bad luck for Ethan Nwaneri because he should have gone down as the winning goal scorer for Arsenal, and it would have been huge for him. It would have absolutely been huge for him. It just adds on to the bad luck, the fact that Nwaneri came off with an injury in this game. Yeah, another injury in this game. It's going to be a bit of a sting for the club and for the manager, especially when he went on to see that Liverpool ended up dropping points against United. So in this weekend, we've seen Chelsea drop points, we've seen Liverpool drop points, and we've seen Arsenal drop points. Very big opportunities missed by both Chelsea and Arsenal. And I think at this stage, you especially have to give Liverpool even more favor to win the league this season. Maybe not run away with it. I still think that they'll drop more points. I didn't expect them to drop points against United. But yeah, if Arsenal plan on closing that gap in an effective way, they can't be dropping points in games like this anymore. There's 7 draws this season. That's far too many draws when you are chasing a team like this Liverpool team currently. It's not good enough. There's no two ways about it. There's no other way to put it. It's not good enough. And in the midst of the January transfer window opening, if this game and this result wasn't enough of an eye-opener for Mikel Arteta to get active, get moving, and get a striker into this team, then it's all on him pretty much at the end of the season. I've spoken before about how I will need context surrounding our results this season before I'm Arteta out, Arteta in. But if he doesn't sign a striker in this January transfer window, then whatever happens is absolutely the bed that he's made, bro. And yeah, I think it'd be foolish, if you ask me, to not see some of these results. Of those 7 draws, 5 of them were draws from where we were in the winning position and then ended up drawing the game. So a striker makes some of those draws at least wins, in my opinion. And especially if you sign one, obviously like Alexander Isak, who we are not going to get in January. But that is the type of striker we've been needing since Arteta has come in. Once we lost the Aubameyang, it's been struggle season at Arsenal in the goal scoring department for a striker. We can't expect everything to come from Bukayo Saka. Can't expect everything to come from Kai Havertz all the time. We need an absolute striker in this team. And yeah, Arteta, he's got time now. He's got a month to find someone, convince someone that, and as much as I've been sitting here saying that I'd rather wait for the plan A than sign any more plan Bs, I'm kind of at that point where I feel like maybe we could do with a plan B. If Arsenal announced that they're interested in Chris Wood right now, I wouldn't be too complaining about it, because we need a striker, bro. We need a striker. There were moments in this game alone, so many moments in this game where you felt, someone like Gyökeres finishes that, someone like Isak finishes that. So I think there's opportunities in the market. Obviously, it's not a comfortable market to work in. Prices get inflated. It is mid-season. No clubs want to let go of any key players. But this club needs a striker. If they are genuinely going to take this title challenge seriously, they need to buy a striker in January and not the end of the season. But yeah, it's a tough result to take. It's obviously not a loss. It helps, at least, I guess. It helps and hurts that both Chelsea and Liverpool drop points, because Arsenal are no worse off than we were before this game. But yeah, it's very disappointing to see us not take advantage of Liverpool dropping points, which is it's a very, very unwanted theme of the season so far. Whenever our main rivals drop points, Arsenal just have to follow suit, bro. So yeah, not good enough by Arsenal this weekend at all. And some big changes going to be needed, especially while working around these injuries that the club still have. I mentioned Chelsea dropping points. They obviously did drop points to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. I had gone into this game predicting a 1-1, and the exact score was 1-1. I also predicted Cole Palmer to pop up with a goal. He got his goal. Jadon Sancho, what a player this dude is for Chelsea. I've said it before, I will say it again, and I'll keep saying it as long as he puts in performances like he did against Crystal Palace. To set up Cole Palmer for his goal, everything about that play was down to Jadon Sancho, and it was honestly brilliant, in my opinion. Cole Palmer took the finish very well as well, but I think Jadon Sancho gets all the plaudits for that setup. And Cole Palmer wasn't, in the headlines for the good that he did, because for Crystal Palace to get the equalizer, it was Cole Palmer who got dispossessed in Chelsea's half of the pitch, and the Eze ended up passing on the ball to Mateta, who put it away. Mateta and Eze, two players that are also highlighted for Crystal Palace going into this game. And the final score is 1-1. And again, a continued little bit of a slump in form for Enzo Maresca and this Chelsea team. I still think that they are a much better team than I'd expected. And I think that they are a very young team, especially look at that centre-back partnership. So I'm not going to get on them too much. I also think that Selhurst Park is a difficult place to go. So 1-1 there for Crystal Palace. Very big result for Crystal Palace. Not the best result for Chelsea. But again, with Liverpool and Arsenal also dropping points, I guess there's not too much to stress about, because you're no worse off than you were before the kickoff. Manchester City look like they are fully back to winning ways with a 4-1 win against West Ham. And Savinho, who is my player of the week after his performance in this game, this dude absolutely ran the show. He got himself on the score sheet. Yeah, it was a deflect. It went down as an own goal for West Ham, but I mean, I would just give the goal to Savinho. Brilliant move, brilliant strike, brilliant finish. Set up Erling Haaland for a goal as well to make it 2 to Man City. It's the second goal he's assisted for Haaland in 2 games in a row. And from there, it was literally just all Man City. As you'd expect, West Ham have been playing terrible football this season. Honestly, regardless of the table, I think West Ham are one team that absolutely deserve to be in relegation zone. So they are lucky to not find themselves there just yet. But this was all Man City, bro. I think it's another big win for them, just in the sense of getting themselves out of that bad run of form with no wins in all competitions. So they're going to take it in their stride. The players look beaming with another win, 2 from 2 now, which is, it's been a while since they could say that. So I think it's coming at a good time. Obviously, we are in January now, crunch time of the Premier League season. So coming at a very, very good time for them. And I think, this is one of those games where you expected the win for City and you expected them to look comfortable. So I'm not too surprised by the 4-1 scoreline. But I was very surprised by Savinho's performance. I think he looked a hell of a player in this game. Your other winners this weekend were Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Bournemouth beat Everton, saving a little bit late for the 1-0 win, and Aston Villa ended up beating Leicester City 2-1. Nice Nice goal by Ross Barkley, also dedicating his goal to his child, his soon-to-be born child. Lots of fathers in the Premier League this season. And then you had a draw for Fulham. It was 2-2 with Fulham and Ipswich. And I expected a Fulham win here, but Ipswich are... Dude, they play such good football. I really want them to stay up this season. I can't lie. I really do want them to stay up this season, but I still don't know if they've got enough about them to manage that. But yeah, 2-2 there. We did have another winner, Brentford. Brentford absolutely smashed Southampton 5-0 at Southampton Stadium. Dude, just let this club bow out early. Honestly, save them some embarrassment, because at this point, no good is coming from their time in the Premier League this season. It has been an absolute embarrassment for the side. From start to finish, I think this is the worst season I've seen a Premier League club have in my time of watching the Premier League. But hats off to Brentford, bro. Mbeumo had a hell of a game. I think he needed a game like that. We saw, of course, the two of them, the dynamic duo, pulling the strings in that game, 5-0 to them. And then, we still got one more game to be played tonight, which is Wolves versus Nottingham Forest, which should be another cracking game. This is one of the games that I picked out to be one that's going to be well worth a watch. So, let me know what you think of the results so far this weekend. Let me know if you think that there's anything going on in the transfer market that you'd like to hear about or talk about. Have a discussion in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.